Yo, what is up guys? Lucidius back in the studio, cooking up another fucking amazing video. I'm ecstatic, I'm happy, life is good, God is great. Today's video is about LSD. In fact, it is about my first time doing LSD. You might see a few more of these first time stories coming out more often here as I kinda, start to think about things more. Firstly, I just wanna talk about how amazing this channel has been for my brain. Guys, one of the hardest things about telling these stories is the fact that if you've done drugs, it's hard to fucking remember shit. Your memory goes to absolute shit, especially if you've been smoking weed throughout it all too. It's all one large hazy day, you know what I mean? Hazy days only. It's just one big hazy day. So it's kind of hard to remember, but luckily through reflecting and thinking back, I've been able to remember quite a few good details and actually memorize a lot of my life. And it's helped me with my identity because I know who I am. And so I was thinking about my identity today and how I've come so far with this channel and how I'm happy with the production quality and I'm happy with myself and life is good. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell one of my favorite stories ever, one of my best experiences ever. And this was the first time I ever tried LSD. So let's hop right into it. So this story kind of needs a bit of context. Where I'm from, the town I'm in, acid is so hard to find. I don't know why. It's just entirely impossible to find. You just can't find a good source for it. And if you do, they're like 3 towns away. They're gonna make you spend a shit ton of money just for them to get over to you. And half the time the tabs, they'll advertise it as like 120 UG. And I'm telling you now, a lot of the street tabs you get are fucking underdosed heavily. I'm talking like 50 UG, maybe 35 UG. Like horrible shit. Because it's easy to scam kids. It really is, especially with sheets of acid. No one knows. I'm gonna tell you now, no one knows. And I have more stories coming up about fuck ups with acid and how this shit can be dangerous. But anyway, so yeah, now that I've provided that context, it's hard to find acid. So I searched for literally a year after I tried mushrooms because I hated the fact that it would make me throw up. I searched for a year to try and find LSD. And when I finally found it, man, the happiness, honestly, I can compare it to many other high moments in my life that just you shouldn't be able to compare it to. And so I bought it. I bought a whole fucking sheet, in fact. That's how ecstatic I was. I bought a $600 sheet. Don't be a retard like me. If you're buying something for a dealer for the first time, try it first. I was a fucking idiot. I jumped the gun way too fast on that, and I bought a whole sheet. And this guy scammed the fuck out of me. It's actually funny because the same night, my girlfriend at the time mentioned to me she was buying LSD too, and I was like, wow, I wonder who your source is. And she told me that it was the same dude. I'm like, oh wow, this guy's kind of weird. I automatically knew he was kind of odd because he was going out to deliver 4 tabs to 3 15, 16-year-old girls, but a dude who was offering more money, like it was a big, I don't know, it was so weird. He had more of a problem selling me a whole sheet than he did these girls 4 tabs. You can kind of just tell this guy's a fucking weirdo, a little bit of a creep. Fuck you. This dealer's a piece of shit. I hate him to this day. Guy just was a horrible dealer, sold horrible products. But anyway, I digressed. So I got this sheet. There was 4 tabs missing from it. Didn't care. I was happy. It was like 5 a.m. when he delivered it though, because he was just, like I said, shitty fucking dealer, man. And so I waited until the next day to try it. So the next day comes around. I obviously got ready. I didn't immediately just wake up and go crazy. I'm not that much of a fool. I'm not Goblin, guys. I hate to say it. Goblin, I'll never be Goblin. But yeah, I woke up, had a shower, had myself a nice breakfast, and I got ready for the day. And around, probably around, I want to say sunset. This was kind of maybe around the winter time, so it sunsets around like 5 o'clock, 5:30. It wasn't that cold. It was maybe a December day. I popped this fucking tab, and oh my man, this was the most beautiful euphoric experience I've had at that point. It was just so, it was like being reborn again. Everything was so new and amazing, and sounds just warped in this such an incredible way that just blew my mind away. And the way the visuals were just it was almost like it was created, like what I was looking at was a movie scene. It was just insane. And I looked at my windows and I looked off at the trees in the distance, and they were just wiggling and waving with haze, like little haze. It was such an amazing fucking start to the trip. Like the visual aspect, the audio aspect, the physical aspect. The best way to describe acid, guys, is you are a conduit and the universe channels all its energy through you, and you get to feel everything. You are everything for a moment. And it is so amazing. It is completely just unreal. It is undescribable, and honestly, I recommend psychedelics. So, I ended up going to my friend's house halfway through this trip because I was just, in my mind, I was like, you guys have to try this. I was like that guy from SpongeBob.
Sure. Amazing. I've got to tell someone about this.
But anyway, I go over to I start walking to my friend's house, and the walk itself was, it was like I was in an alien world. Like cars driving by they made this hyper realistic like shoo sound. It was just so crazy. Like cars didn't sound normal, and like they left like tracers behind, and the tracers were just so cool to me because they were new. This was some good LSD, despite the fact that it was weekly dosed. It was a good first trip, and it really, holy crap, man. I had a great time on this shit. When I got to my friend's house, I immediately walked in, and his parents and his uncle were at the front. And I just kind of started tweaking, because this is my first time on acid, and I have to speak to these guys. But I kept it pretty cool. I wasn't high or anything. I was just on LSD, so it wasn't like my brain was slowed down from weed. I spoke to them, maybe said hi, how you doing, shook his uncle's hand, got a glass of water, and headed upstairs with him. From there, I laid on his bed and stared at the ceiling like it was a fucking painting, and just took it in, just took in all the glory and the awe. And he actually has videos of me. Maybe I'll put them up, probably won't, don't really care to show my face right now, but yeah, like, it was just so amazing. I told him, like, you have to try this, man. I was just fucking mind blown. And so he brings up the amazing idea, how about we smoke a blunt? And so I roll this blunt while I'm on LSD, right? Like, cause he can't roll blunts. He's like, can you roll it? I'm like, man, you're really gonna make the dude who's tripping fucking sack roll the blunt? Come on. But, you know, I couldn't let the boy down. So I rolled that shit up perfectly. Come on now. I'm not that much of a clown. I'm not a fool. I rolled that shit up perfectly. And we headed outside. But before we did, I had a little bit of a scary moment. A little bit of I guess an insight on what acid could be like in the future. It was a bit of an intense moment. You see, the visuals started to kick in more and more. I think I may have hit his dab pen ever so slightly upstairs. And the visuals were getting a little crazy, and my hearing, it was starting to get worse. Things were warping. And I start to put my shoes on, and I'm at his front door waiting for him. And I can't tell that he's actually literally just in the living room, like right in front of me, talking to his parents. I thought he was in the side room, and I thought I was waiting for him. So I call out to him, yo, Jordan, or whatever I've called this guy in the past. He's a good friend of mine. He's been in many of the stories. But yeah, I call out to him so loudly, not knowing he was in the room with me, and him and his family all look at me like, they just look a little confused at first, and I quickly locked into the fact that he was in the room with me. I was like, oh, my bad, bro, I thought you were in the other room. I honestly just corrected myself the way I could. If I just stood there like dumbfounded, it just would have been even more awkward. And I was like, and I kind of tried to transfer. I'm like, oh, are we going out the front door or the back door? So I saved this shit. I was locked in, guys. And we headed out the back door. Oh, Johnny, that's what I've named this guy. Oh man, sorry guys. This is Johnny's house. You guys know this guy. But yeah, we go outside and I start ripping this blunt. Oh, bro, it was just the cherry on top. Truly just the cherry on top. Every time I hit this blunt, it felt like I started a new trip. It was like a new feeling, a new experience, new sounds, new colors. It was so crazy. It was like the battle blunt, you know? You hit the blunt and you just went on the battle bus and dropped into a new fucking dimension. It was so crazy, bro. Like, I loved this shit. It just stuck with me. I ended up finishing that blunt. It was super awesome. I dapped him up and I told you, I was like, man, Johnny, you gotta try this shit. And he was like, man, Johnny didn't try acid until fucking like 3-4 years later, until we were almost graduated. That story is actually up on the channel. This guy didn't try acid for a while, even though I wanted him to. But yeah, I think I walked back. It was pretty chill, and I proceeded to try to ride the rest of the trip out. I think I smoked a few bowls probably, and by then the trip was kind of wearing down. I may have stayed up quite a lot. I don't really remember the rest of the trip all too much. I think I just went home, you know, and probably relaxed. And that is that, guys. So yeah, short and sweet and simple. I just wanted to share another story with you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. We're trying to make it to 100 subscribers. I'd love to see your comments and your feedback. If you don't like the video, don't like it, you know? But let me know what I'm doing wrong. I'd love to hear from you guys. Without further ado though, y'all enjoy your day.